Well, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don back in here with you. It is 7:08 on the central side of the time zone. It is Monday, March 31st, 2025. If you're just now joining us, we're watching for the possibility of severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia. You see the graphic there on the screen. And I think we're looking at the timing across East Alabama and West Georgia coming in a little bit later than we originally thought. I think we're probably looking at another couple of hours at least before the weather gets into East Alabama and West Georgia. Maybe 9, 10, maybe even 11 a.m. before that main line gets here. And you see the threats there. We've got a 3 out of 5, which is an enhanced risk of severe weather with damaging winds, tornadoes, and large hail, all possibilities. Let's go to the radar, and we'll take a look at what's happening out there right now. And we're kind of looking at this from a 3D perspective, and you can see that we have a pretty nasty line of thunderstorms coming in to northwest Alabama, and that is going to continue moving to the east-southeast as we go throughout your morning hours. Let's bring this back to 2D and get things straight here. And I want to show you that we do have a tornado warning out there this morning. This one is going to be, let me stop the loop and bring it current. This is going to be a tornado warning off to the west of Birmingham. Did we lose the warning? Yes, we lost the tornado warning. So now we have a severe thunderstorm warning, and this is going to be near Berry, Alabama. This is up in northwest Alabama, to the northwest of Birmingham. And the heaviest part of this storm moving into the Berry community. This is going to be to the east of Fayette and just to the west of Berry, actually moving into Berry as we speak. So I'll zoom back out, and you'll see that we have a special weather statement up there for Jasper. We have the severe thunderstorm warning for Berry. We have a special weather statement now for Tuscaloosa County. So folks in Tuscaloosa need to pay attention. Then as we move on down the line, you can see that we have severe thunderstorm warnings just about the entire line now, all the way back to Baton Rouge. Now, understand, we're looking at this from the Birmingham radar, so we can't see those storms right there at Baton Rouge, but trust me, they're there. Then looking back at Alabama, we are beginning to see some individual storms fire out ahead of the line, the main line of thunderstorms. And we have a few scattered storms now just south of Valley in northeastern Lee County. And then down along the I-85 corridor, some scattered showers developing near Troy, also near Greenville, just south of Selma, near Thomasville, back in southwest Alabama. Across East Alabama and West Georgia at this hour. We have nothing really except for those scattered showers down along I-85 just south of Valley that are beginning to get underway. We'll zoom back out and kind of give you a look at the big picture this morning. And we are under a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect until 12 noon today across East Alabama. This does not include any of our West Georgia counties yet. That's probably coming. So as far as school delays and closures are concerned, Clay County is on a 3-hour delay this morning. Tallapoosa continues to monitor. Randolph County is on spring break. Cleburne County is on spring break. Roanoke will run a normal schedule today. Calhoun County is on a 2-hour delay. Cherokee County, 3-hour delay. Chilton County, Coosa County, and Coosa Valley are all closed. Oxford City is delayed at 2.5 hours, as well as Pell City. Shelby County, St. Clair County are closed. Sylacauga City is doing virtual learning today, and Talladega County is delayed 2 hours. Those are the school closings as we know them at this time. Bear with me just a minute while I do a little work offline here. Had to get the chat room up where I could see it. So we welcome all of you in this morning. We're doing periodic updates for you as we watch this storm system move into West Alabama. And yes, it is running behind schedule here a bit. And we're just watching to see how things are going to evolve as this storm system moves into central Alabama. And you can see that northern area kind of bowing out a little bit, and that's why we're getting those severe thunderstorm warnings up there. And we had that one tornado warning just a few moments ago. So right there where you see that bow that takes place, that's where the strongest winds are going to be as this line continues to move off to the east. I'm going to go in and take a look at the wind. And we certainly have some 50-plus mile per hour winds in this particular storm. And this area right here is where we had that tornado warning just a few moments ago. So some pretty strong winds right over Berry, Alabama at this hour. Now, that's 50 and 60 mile per hour winds at about 2,000 to 3,000 feet in the upper levels of the atmosphere. But when you get that very heavy rainfall, and when I go back to the reflectivity, you can see that we have some extremely heavy rainfall taking place right there. That rain will push that wind from that 2,000 and 3,000 foot level all the way down to the ground. So certainly 40 to 50 mile per hour winds are very plausible. Maybe even up to 60 mile per hour winds there in Berry as this storm system continues to move toward Birmingham. Good morning, Villa Rica. You're at least a couple of hours away from it, Alexander City, maybe 3 hours away. This thing is lagging behind this morning. Well, Hannah, I would highly suggest you not drive in this. I mean, what makes you think it's safe to do that? I'm not being ugly. I'm just being honest. I would not drive into this line of thunderstorms. That is extremely dangerous. Your automobile is the absolute worst place you could possibly be during severe weather such as this. Again, you hear me preach this all the time. Wind is wind. It doesn't matter if it comes from a line of severe thunderstorms or a tornado. Don't purposely drive into weather like this for any reason whatsoever. There is no reason that is worth risking your life. Don't do it. Well, there's Lisa Woodfin, Lisa Pratt. She just said, "Oh, Lord, not again." Yes, it happens every year, Goofy. It's called severe weather season in the South. March, April, and May. We do this every single year, March, April, and May. Will Clay County get bad? All right. Savannah, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen in Clay County. I can tell you what the possibilities are, and I can tell you what we're looking at that's happening in real time back off to your west right now. There's a good chance that it will get bad in Clay County, but I can't tell you exactly what will happen. This line will look totally different by the time it gets to Clay County. I think you do have a choice, Hannah. Reschedule it. It's not worth putting yourself or your daughter in danger. I mean, it really isn't. I understand you got a tough situation. I get it. And I wish you the absolute best, but it's not worth putting your life and your daughter's life in danger. Thank you, Bobby G. We love some Fredonia. That's right. You never know what Alabama's going to throw at you. You got to be prepared. You're welcome, Savannah. Again, I'm not trying to come down on you, but it's so frustrating. Every single time we have a severe weather event, you see reports of people getting injured and worse in their automobile. They just drive right into it, and that's just not something you need to do ever. Don't take that chance. Navarre Beach in the house. Good morning, Stephen. Uh-oh, Carol. What about Cleburne County? We got a what about in the house this morning. Good morning. Good morning, what abouts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What about Cleburne County? Well, it's up there along I-20. Got the Bulldogs up there. I can't tell you exactly what the deal is with Cleburne County because the line of storms hadn't got to you yet. Wait a minute. Let me get the... Here we go. Cleburne County. I can tell you that you have a good chance at seeing some extremely strong wind, maybe a spin-up tornado or two, and some large hail when this line moves through Cleburne County. You're about 2, maybe 3 hours away from it moving through Cleburne County. But I cannot tell you at this point exactly what this line of thunderstorms is going to be doing when it moves through Cleburne County. All I can do is tell you what the possibilities are, and you need to prepare for those possibilities and be safe when it moves through your area just in case. Thank you, Hunter. We'll see you back in here, downtown Hickory Flat. Pollen levels should be lower after the line moves through, David. Yeah, all that water will wash it away. The line of storms moving east, individual storms moving east, southeast, yes, it is moving through Tennessee. The upper end of the line is moving through Tennessee. You'll see there that, let me go back to the composite. Yeah, I don't really see anything that significant up in Tennessee. There was earlier, but now it looks like most of the activity up in Tennessee is just light to moderate rainfall, nothing significantly severe up there. All of that's down in the great state of Alabama. Good to see you this morning, Miss Tracy. Looking forward to the second annual hurricane party at Boondocks on May 31st in Wedowee, Alabama. We're going to have a lot of fun. War Eagle, Christina. Good morning, Lisa. Olivia is in the house in Morrison Crossroads. What do I mean by it will be different in Clay County? I mean that the line of storms we have out there right now won't look exactly the same by the time it gets into Clay County. Weather is constantly changing. I mean, parts of this line of thunderstorms will go severe, and then parts of it won't go severe. And there's no way to tell you exactly what it's going to be doing when it gets into Clay County. It won't be exactly what we're looking at right now in West Alabama. It will change. It will continuously change as it moves across the state of Alabama. Parts of it will go severe. Parts of it will calm down. Energy will transfer from one part of the line to the other. Parts of the line will be bowing, which is an indication of high winds, and parts won't be. But weather is fluid. It's constantly changing. You can't look at a radar and look at a storm that's in West Alabama and say, oh, well, that's what it's going to look like when it moves through East Alabama. That's not the way this works. So it will be changing, and it won't look exactly like it does right now by the time it gets into Clay County. Hello, Alexander City. ETA for Auburn, Lee County, probably at least a couple of hours. What we got now? 7:24, 7:30, 9:30, 10 a.m., I think, for Lee County. Angela, I don't know what Lee County is doing with the schools down there. Hadn't seen anything on Lee County. I know that most everybody in East Alabama that are not on spring break are going ahead with their normal school today, and I think that's okay. It's going to be late morning before this line of storms makes it into East Alabama and West Georgia. Good morning, Sally. All you got to do is send me a message on Messenger. If you want to be a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather, just send me a message on Messenger, and I'll send you a link. It is quick, fast. You can do it real easy. We can check out your Facebook page, get all the artwork that we need, and we can have you started probably before we do our primetime forecast tomorrow morning. I think, Stephanie, we're looking at noon-ish for Troup County. That's right, Christina. Yeah, when the storms get into the county just to your west, that's when we can start talking about, the possibilities of exactly what you might start to see in your county. But being able to tell you that right now is impossible. I mean, I can tell you we got very strong storms in West Alabama moving into Central Alabama, but we don't know if they're going to hold together. We don't know if they're going to intensify. We don't know if they're going to weaken before they make it into East Alabama and West Georgia. Supposed to travel to Montgomery, Selma, Demopolis, and Meridian. I wouldn't do it. Just being honest. You're going to be driving right into it, Debbie. Not safe. Oh, Wesley got it going on this morning. He is hanging out on the porch in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, with light rain. I hear you, brother. Clay County. Look, East Alabama, West Georgia, you got 2.5, 3 hours before this stuff moves in. 2 to 3 hours. We'll call it 2 to 3 hours. That's anywhere in East Alabama or West Georgia. The line is moving across the state pretty slow, is just now beginning to touch the western side of Birmingham. So we got another couple of hours before this thing gets here. And that's for all of East Alabama and West Georgia. 7:28 a.m. Central on your Monday morning. Live coverage on Dr. Don's weather as we're watching a line of storms move into West Alabama. About to moving through West Alabama into Central Alabama. Right now, the absolute strongest part of the storm is moving into the Birmingham area, but I'll tell you this much. We've lost all the severe thunderstorm warnings. We now have special weather statements. That's what all those blue polygons are. So that's a good sign. The storms maybe not as strong as they were a few minutes ago. And this goes back to what I was talking about. This line is going to be evolving and changing as it moves across the state of Alabama. So we've gone from severe thunderstorm warnings, and we even had a tornado warning earlier in this line. So we've gone from tornado warning to severe thunderstorm warning. Now we're down to special weather statements. So that's a good sign. The line of storms weakening a bit as it moves into central Alabama, but that's not to say that they can't ramp back up, and probably will as we go through the next couple of 2 or 3 hours. We get the heating of the day taking place, though I will say that we have decent cloud coverage all across central Alabama and east Alabama, which is kind of keeping us on the cool side, so that will help. Now you get back into Mississippi, and we still have severe thunderstorm warnings all along the Mississippi-Alabama state line, stretching all the way down to just northwest of Lake Pontchartrain. For you folks watching us up here in North Georgia, same thing applies. We've got pretty good cloud coverage going on up this morning. A good cloud deck out there. That'll keep us cooler. That will certainly help. And we're probably looking at a couple of 2 to 3 hours before these storms move into White County, which is up here in northeast Georgia. That's where I'm located. Probably noon-ish for northeast Georgia. We are beginning to see a few, I call them popcorn storms down here. They're just little small cells that are popping up all across southeast Alabama, south of the I-85 corridor. And then we've got a few just north of Jackson, southwest of Montgomery. None of those severe. Not a problem at all. What we're watching is going to be this area off in West Alabama. If I put this in motion, and there was that tornado warning that was earlier this morning. You can kind of see the way all of this is moving. And the line itself is really moving almost due east. And then the individual storms may be taking on a northeast motion, especially those storms down in eastern Mississippi. But the line that's coming into central Alabama, that thing's moving due east. Foggy in the Big Springs. Hey, Glenn. Got a little fog. We're in the clouds up here in northeast Georgia, too. Does the mountain range at Cheehaw break up storms sometimes? There's a age-old argument about that. Typically speaking, no. You know, Cheehaw is the highest point in the state of Alabama, but the mountain really isn't that big as far as, you know, up here in northeast Georgia, we have the Appalachian chain that runs, well, and Cheehaw's part of that. But it really picks back up around Springer Mountain in Georgia and then runs all the way up through northeast Georgia. 3,000, maybe 3,200 feet. Brasstown Ball's higher than that, but because of the length of the mountain chain through North Georgia, it does affect weather. Not so certain that it has that much effect on weather in Cheehaw in Alabama, because that's just not a very long mountain chain. That's one mountain kind of sitting there just south of I-20. Do I expect a thunderstorm watch for the rest of Georgia? Yes, I do. Auburn, you're a couple of 2 hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours before it gets to you. Haralson County, about the same, about 3 hours. Yes, Randolph County is under a severe thunderstorm watch. It's actually in effect until noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Ranburne, a couple of hours away. Oh, Remy wants me to do some artwork here. I can do that. All right, so this part of the line is pretty much moving in this direction, okay? These storms down in Mississippi may be more of a little bit of a northeast motion. But you'll notice you've got Boeing that's taking place up here in northwest Alabama. So that part of the storm is kind of blowing off to the east, maybe a little bit quicker, and then the storms down in Mississippi are lagging behind a bit. So if you're in East Alabama, and I'm talking about the primary counties of Randolph, Clay, Talladega, Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers, Lee, and Cleburne and Calhoun, this is the area that you want to pay attention to. Yeah, that's not good. Let's do it this way. That's kind of what we're looking at this morning. And then eventually the same thing will apply for West Georgia. And again, we're at about 2 hours out. Amen, Shelley. That is a personal decision. If you don't feel safe sending your kids to school, then don't do it. Yes. Arlette, if you leave right now and you're going to South Carolina, you should be fine. Oh, Jessica, you are very, very observant. I like that. Yes, the Dr. Don chicks have been moved to the coop outdoors. I have an area in my pen outside that I have converted into a brooder. Though these chicks are growing fast. I mean, they're about 3 to 4 weeks old now, and they're huge. They had to go. They had to leave the studio. They were getting a little too loud and a little too messy. And there was that aroma. So we moved them out to the coop. Hey, Jordan Miller. Thank you, Anita. And again, the good news here, the trend that we have noticed over the last 15 or 20 minutes has been we've gone from severe thunderstorm warnings to special weather statements. I don't think it'll be to you by 9 or 9:30, Remy. I think probably Lee County's closer to 11 before it gets into that part of East Alabama. 10 to 11 maybe. And I have no way of knowing how unstable the atmosphere is going to be in East Alabama by the time this line gets there. Right now, I'm seeing a good trend. I'm seeing a weakening trend. But again, that could change. I don't want everybody to say, oh, well, this is not going to be a big deal. And hopefully it won't be a big deal. But you got to keep watching this throughout the morning, because these storms, though, they're kind of weakening at the moment. They could certainly cycle and ramp back up as quickly as they weakened. I'm just looking at the National Weather Service chat room on Slack to see what they're talking about, and there is a discussion out there. On what they're going to do with the tornado watch. Give me just a minute to read this. Okay, well, that they're talking there about the possibility of training over the same locations, primarily northwest Alabama, where we could see 2 to 3 inches of rain, which could cause some flooding issues. And that discussion was a couple of hours ago. And you can see that we do have a lot of rain up there in northwest Alabama, so we could have some flash flooding issues taking place up there. Okay, so just looking at some comments of the National Weather Service out of Birmingham. So their theory is right now the storms have indeed lost some of their intensity, but we are expecting to see a short wave move into this area in the next couple of hours, and then we get some surface-based heating going, and they're kind of suggesting that this line of storms will re-intensify, especially by the time it makes it into East Alabama and West Georgia. So they did a balloon release this morning, and they're talking about a couple of inversions through the different layers of the atmosphere. And they made the comment that wind shear is certainly significant for organized activity. Overall, the inversions in storm mode will be a hindrance for now in terms of robust severe storms that should change where surface temperatures rise. So as this line of storms makes it into East Alabama and surface temperatures get up into the mid to upper 70s, then we could see these storms re-intensify. So that's kind of where we stand with the thinking of the National Weather Service. Oh, I was reading stuff, Remy. I'm good. Trying to make sure I stay on top of it. Sherry, I think it'll be after lunch before we get completely done with this across Clay County and all of East Alabama and West Georgia. Maybe 1 o'clock this afternoon before we can give you the all clear. So I'm going to take this to 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, and then we're going to take another break. And probably come back around 8:30, 8:45, and give you another update. I can tell you that you're good across East Alabama and West Georgia over the next couple of hours or so. At the moment, the storms appear to be weakening. We're seeing special weather statements in lieu of severe thunderstorm warnings. But the Weather Service is warning us that they have measured the upper levels of the atmosphere. There's a lot of shear up there. At the moment, the storms are weakening because we're still kind of cool, temperature-wise. But as we get into mid and late morning and we get some heating taking place because of the sun, and those temperatures get up in the upper 70s, then we could see these storms cycle and begin to ramp back up to severe limits. So we can't look at what's happening right now and say, oh, this is not going to be a big deal. That's what I was explaining earlier. Folks asking about what I think is going to happen when the line gets into their particular areas of East Alabama and West Georgia. No way of knowing. Because this is an ever-changing, weather is always changing. So while we're not looking at significant severe weather in the state of Alabama at the moment, that could change over the next couple of hours. Remy, you've got a couple of hours. If you've got a pre-identified place where you can go to leave your mobile home, that's good. You're prepared. You're ready. No point in panicking or having extreme anxiety. And you've got at least 2 hours before this stuff moves into East Alabama and West Georgia, maybe a little bit longer. That short wave that's coming in and interacting with all this is what's causing the line to kind of slow down. The upper part of it's speeding up a little bit. The southwest side of it's kind of lagging behind. So getting the timing down on all this has been a challenge. And that's been one of the big question marks going into this event was the timing. Obviously, the 8 a.m. timing was no good. It's 8 a.m., and the storms are still back in West Alabama. So you got time. You don't need to evacuate right this moment, unless you got a long way to go. You certainly can if you want to. I'm just saying it's not urgent at the moment across East Alabama and West Georgia. All these small popcorn storms you see down here in South Alabama, none of those are severe. We're showing some decent cells, but they're very small. Down here southwest of Union Springs, maybe a little hail with that one. You got one sitting just south of Beauregard in Lee County. And then one about to cross over I-65 between Greenville and Montgomery. And then back over in southwest Alabama, maybe more of a significant storm there around Thomasville. Good morning, Robin in LaGrange. Good to have you in here. All right, so let me recap what's going on because we're about to take a break. We have a line of strong thunderstorms that has moved out of Mississippi into West Alabama. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 12 noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, and that does include most of North and Central Alabama, East Alabama. It does not include West Georgia. There are 3 counties of extreme northwest Georgia that are covered under this severe thunderstorm watch. At the moment, the storms appear to be weakening as they move into the Birmingham area. However, the National Weather Service is telling us that as these storms move into central Alabama and then eventually east Alabama, and we get the heating of the day underway and the temperatures get up into the mid to upper 70s, we could see these storms re-intensify as they move into east Alabama. So we're going to have to watch that real close as we go through the next several hours across east Alabama and west Georgia. We have not had many tornado warnings in the state this morning. A handful of warnings up there northwest Alabama earlier, right about daybreak. And since then, it's been all severe thunderstorm warnings. And in the last 20 to 30 minutes or so, it's all special weather statements. We've seen no severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're going to watch and see if that trend continues or if the storms begin to pick back up in intensity. And that's what is expected by the National Weather Service a little later on this morning. We're still looking at least 2 hours before these storms make it into east Alabama, probably 2.5 to 3 hours before they get into west Georgia. We're going to continue to give you updates as we go throughout the morning here on Dr. Don's Weather. It's coming up on 8 a.m. Central. We'll be back with you around 8:30, 8:45-ish with another update here on Dr. Don's Weather. We ask that you consider supporting us here on Dr. Don's Weather. At the top of our weather page on Facebook, you'll find all kinds of different opportunities and ways to support us. We do Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. If you own a business, we'd love to have you as a partner. Just send me a message on Messenger, and I'll send you a link so you can sign up. And we'll be back with you in about 30 to 45 minutes, and we'll continue with our severe weather coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back in here shortly.